Right. So CSK has finally moved from the bottom of the table, registered some points against their arch rivals RCB at the DY Paddle, and what a great game it was from a CSK perspective. RCB, commiserations, they did fought well in the end, but lost out to CSK for what 22 odd runs. I have a very happy Ravi, a CSK fan, and a dejected Vishak RCB fan, and I got a few neutrals as well. Ravi, sorry, Suman and Anil. Guys, how are we doing?
Yeah, not bad. It was a pretty good game. I would have loved if it was a super over and either case would have won. But yeah, I think looking at what RCB have done, they gave a good fight. I enjoyed the game today.
So just a quick recap. So Chennai lost the toss. They were put into bat. They got 216 runs. Shivam Dube not out in the end, 95 his top score, and Uthappa scoring 88 runs, pretty much doing the bulk of the scoring. And then for RCB, it was a combination of Shahbaz Ahmed, Prabhu Desai, Dinesh Karthik, all getting a few runs here and there, and then bundling out for 193. Ravi, how happy you are. I know at the start of the show you mentioned offline that there's only two teams you don't want to lose to. That's MI and RCB.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both are one of the. I mean, MI is more of a title rival, and RCB is more of geographical rival, right? I mean, it's a good game, but still, I feel our bowling is pathetic. With this bowling, we have to score 200 runs every single match. So, but kudos to RCB. RCB, I think DK is still. I never thought DK would be in this kind of form. I don't think so. Any of the RCB fans also would have thought DK would be performing this much, but DK till till DK was there, I was not very convinced that about victory. But overall, great performance. And this Dube and Uthappa finally stood up, and Dube, everybody doubted him, but whatever, he's no budget Albie Mocklin, right? So the way he hits the ball and the way he clears, especially the spinners and the fast bowlers, brilliant to see. Hopefully, he continues the form with Rutraj not getting into proper. I don't know what has happened with Rutraj Gaikwad. I think similar to Venkatesh Iyer. I think I think he also needs a break. But I'm very happy with the overall batting performance, and bowling still looks very threatening for us.
Vishak again an ex-RCB and Shivam Dube doing the exploits. But I think the key here was what 160 odd runs in the last 10 overs for CSK. Clearly, Harshal Patel was sorely missed.
Definitely, I think even the yesterday's review, I mentioned the same thing. Our death bowling would be exposed in the absence of Harshal Patel, and that's exactly what happened. So I think we missed Harshal Patel because Harshal Patel was not there. We were forced to bowl spinners in the middle overs. Otherwise, he would come in around 11th or 12th over, control the game there a little bit by bowling those slower balls and stuff. So I think we missed him there, and our death bowling looks pathetic except Harshal Patel. And Siraj is not his usual self now. So I think he's leaking a lot of runs. And I think Akashdeep, I think, has played his last game for RCB already. I think once Harshal Patel comes back, I think it'll be a straight swap.
Yeah, tough luck for new guys. As you mentioned, death bowling is one of the most difficult challenges in T20. Anil, as a neutral fan, obviously great to see CSK coming back and registering some points. Just keeps the tournament, interesting. Not just an 8-team tournament. Surely CSK another couple of wins and they'll be in the mix, trying to, end up in the top four. Where did you see RCB losing the match? Was it too much runs at the top, or did they have any chance chasing the score?
No, they definitely had some chance chasing. If Faf or Maxwell or Kohli would have played some more overs, I think they had a good chance. But what I felt is that the last 10 overs, you gave away 160 odd runs. You have a bowler who bowls 10 balls in an over, so that does bring some kind of uh, you know a demotivation factor in the team. But what I also felt is that Harshal Patel, who's actually a prime bowler, he's been replaced by another all-rounder. Like a batsman all-rounder. I would have thought they must have gone ahead with Karan Sharma or say even Kaul, right? So for a bowler replacement. So I thought if they would have done that, at least they would have had some option. I mean, they would have realized that Siraj is not in the best of the form. Then you have Akashdeep also, who's having an on and off game kind of thing. So I thought there they would have tried something different.
With 400 runs being scored, Suman, this was a perfect game to not play. So Siddharth calls stock would have risen by not playing this game rather than playing this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, all players would have definitely enjoyed the game. Even Faf Duplessis mentioned that the closer RCB got, the more confidence, the depth of the batting they have. So definitely, I mean, I did not expect any less about this game. I was excited, like I mentioned yesterday, about high-scoring game. One team had to lose, unfortunately, and this time it is RCB, and Ravi continues to smile after 4 games. That's what Syed says. But it was a good game, man, and it's unfortunate. I'll continue to look for a super over. Hopefully, it is a Sunrisers game.
So Ravi, obviously CSK's batting's not been necessarily their problem. It has always been their death bowling effectively, and almost at the end you had the jitters. Maybe the bowlers are gonna what Akashdeep did for RCB. Almost Mahesh Chaudhary. If he had to bowl another over, maybe things would have been slightly different. But any other changes in the combination from bowling perspective you think of? Chris Jordan only bowling 1 overs. Who are the other people from the bench who can potentially come?
The thing is, if we are losing itself, we're not changing the team. I don't know what we are going to change after winning match. Maybe I don't see this Mukesh Chaudhary going anytime sooner from the level. I mean, it's a new guy, young guy. All this pressure will definitely be there. Like how Arshal Patel was missed, I think Deepak Chahar is also missed for CSK. I mean, if Deepak Chahar has been playing all the games, I don't think so. We would be in this kind of situation. But I don't think so there'll be any change with respect to CSK. Maybe Pretorius might come for Jordan. And that is the only change I can see coming on. But Tikshana, I think we have to give a credit to what Tikshana has done to this match. 4 important wickets, and the way the team was bowling, I think we have found a new spinner for CSK. Hopefully, he continues like this. But imagine no if SRH win the next game, they go on par with RCB. Who thought about it a week back of SRH coming? So this tournament is wide open right now, and it's going to be very exciting next couple of weeks.
I have a
So
question for Ravi actually. So if you look at the batting scorecard of Chennai Super Kings, you only have
Yeah.
Dube and Uthappa contributing today. And I know you guys won the game and definitely should be happy. But is that not a concern if one of them would have failed today? Would 150, 160 would have been possible today, Ravi?
Yeah, 100%. I think batting wise, I think Ambati Raidu is still a worry factor for me. I told Syed also a couple of days back. I think Ambati Raidu will be the Kedar Jadhav of the season for us. Hopefully, that catch, I don't know how much confidence is going to give it to him. But I'm worried about the batting little bit. That's why I thought they took Jordan for to strengthen the batting lineup more than Pretorius. But if Dube and is going to contribute and Rutraj comes back to form a little bit like what he even 50% of what he did last year, I think our batting will be sorted out. I don't even Moeen Ali is also not in great. If both of them come to a good form, I don't think so that clear issue because Jadeja is just I mean Raidu is just one knock away from getting back. So
And
let's
Dube,
see.
what
Hopefully,
do you,
my concern is more about the bowling. I'm not worried about the batting because we have batted well this entire season. Bowling has been a very dreadful performance, especially the new ball. And we tried a different combination in the new ball today with Moeen Ali, getting the Moeen Ali overs run through in the first few overs itself, and Mukesh Chaudhary with, I mean, sorry, the Tikshana with the quick wickets of Faf and uh, Rawat. I think that has a little bit sorted out the power play issue, but still, death bowling is still a huge concern for us. I mean, we cannot. 23 runs is a very smaller margin even from the situation where it was. We should have at least won by 50 runs this match. Uh, that is this is going to affect us in the tournament with net run rate coming into the picture. 8 teams, it's net run rate becomes much more complex. With 10 teams, it's going to be much more worse. So hopefully we sort out our bowling and get. I don't maybe Pretorius instead of Jordan would be better off.
we shot the two spinners on Sunday. Hasaranga not completing his quota. Obviously taking 4 wickets. Faf's tactics of keeping back Hasaranga, was he waiting for maybe Dhoni or someone else to come in and then use him? Because or maybe it was just the fact that there was a left-hander which prevented him from bowling before the 15th over, because that's potentially where there wasn't much due, it appeared, and the other spinners relatively performed well for CSK.
I believe it's more to do with the way Dube and Uthappa batted, the way they took on the spinners between the 8th to 14th over. I think he was not confident in bowling Hasaranga once again because he did not want to leak more runs and he brought his paces back. Maybe that could be the primary reason because I think credit has to be given to Dube, mainly Dube here, because I think when Uthappa was struggling, I think this guy took the attack to the RCB spinners and then both of them started attacking. So I think then the bowlers became kind of clueless, and it was all over the place then. So I think credit to the batters more. I think if he had bowled, yeah, it would have been a double-edged sword if he had given one more over to Hasaranga at that point of time.
Anil, so yesterday we were doing the preview for this game, and I mentioned that whoever's going to bat first is probably going to win the game. It's not happened. Any team who's won the toss has always put in the opposition team to bat in first. But we've had quite a few games where the team batting first, as long as they're putting up high totals, have got a great chance of winning. Do you think in future we may potentially see teams trying to bat first if they are sort of confident that there's not going to be much due?
Yeah, I mean, even if there's a due, a score more than 200 still becomes a little difficult to chase. But what it also does is that it kinds of motivates your bowling unit also, saying, okay, we managed to score 200 odd runs. If you see how Jadeja was bowling, he was bowling much with which much more confident. He was able to spin a ball a little bit. He wasn't scared of Maxwell at all. But if you look at how he has bowled in the last four matches, it wasn't your normal Jadeja. So even if you're batting first and you manage to score 200 odd runs, and if that's the plan of any team, like say Punjab, they have a game tomorrow and they have a very strong batting lineup. So if they win toss, they might end up batting first. Put up a score of more than 200 odd runs because they know Mumbai is gonna be in a difficult position. They need to win a match, so they're always going to try to put pressure on the team. So in those scenarios, yeah, you could see cases where a team winning toss would like to opt for bat.
Excellent. So obviously Shivam Dube is the player of the match. Ravi, I see Ravindra. Sorry.
Question for Sanjay Dubey though. Do you think Tikshana should have got the player of the match instead of Shivam Dube because he broke the back of RCB?
No, but he had runs to play with, so easily, it was Shivam Dube's innings. Those 15, 20 odd extra runs is what potentially made the difference, because Tikshana only had 4 overs. If they did not have enough runs, they would have probably played him out. So I think it's definitely, if there was a chance, I would have given it to both Uthappa and Shivam Dube as a combined players of the match or whatnot. But I think it's a fair call. Shivam Dube, smoking the ball all over the place, well deserved.
I think once the tournament progresses now, team which has a good spinners and team which has good batsmen to play spin will do well. Slowly you can see the pitch starts to turn and hold because you're using the same pitch and same wicket right every single match, only foreground. I think spinners will be effective at least in second half. I think the team which has good spinners will definitely do well. That's what I'm very surprised with. I just want to know from Vishak why Shabazz Ahmed is not used much, sir, because I think that guy is a good bowler also. I don't know how much, why they're not using, because today also he bowled one over that six which went on Shivam Dube. They stopped him. But Shabazz Ahmed look good bowler. No?
You're on mute, Vishak.
That always remains a mystery to me, always, because I think I spoke previously also about it that Shabazz bowling is completely underutilized.
Yeah.
Even in the 2020 season, he was the one who got us into the playoffs. And in the playoff game, we don't play him, we drop him. And in 2021 also, it was a kind of the same thing. He was not used properly. So I'm a little puzzled. I like previously I used to think it is Virat Kohli who was actually kind of reluctant. Now with Faf also at the helm, if the same thing is happening, then there's something wrong. He is actually a decent bowler, and he plays regularly for Bengal and takes wickets there as well. So I'm a little puzzled why he is not being utilized properly. Maybe in the middle overs. I think he bowled 2 overs today, but still, I think today I would still give him a little allowance to Faf today because of the way Dube was batting. But on the other days, there's no excuse like why he is not being
Hmm.
used.
Yeah, I personally think it's the whole matchup business. As soon as they see a decent left-hander, hitting the ball, maybe they are just afraid to give it to any leg spinners or a left-arm spinner, because otherwise there's no reason why he cannot bowl. And whole matchup thing where Ashwin's not bowling to right-hander, someone else is not bowling to left-hander. It's just beyond me. But hopefully he'll get more opportunities. Jadeja, like a good husband, has dedicated his first win. To his wife. So good on him. He's also mentioned that he keeps picking on the uh, brains of the senior players, effectively. Mahi. Ravi, do you think Jadeja's this game look more like in control, or is it still going to be Mahi's team as long as he plays? Because for the first few games, it did look like Jadeja was not necessarily the captain; it was still Dhoni.
Uh, See, it is going to be a combination of both, especially the field setups and all those things. I don't think so. Jadeja is going to play a huge part, apart from change of bowlers. Anyways, batting orders are always decided upfront before the match starts, based on the situation they go. But I think bowling changes, I think Jadeja will make a key impact. I think fielding makes more sense for Dhoni to control, because one is a keeper. He has a perfect view from batsman point of view also, and way he set up Virat Kohli's wicket, that shows what Dhoni is all about. So I think he will learn. He will learn. At one day he has to learn, and one day he has to activate and do everything on his own. That day is not very far, but I think he will learn, as he said. He will learn from what Dhoni does and what other senior guys do. Dube is still he's a senior guy. Okay, he's been in Indian cricket for last 10, 12 years, and he's a senior pro in with respect to T20 cricket. He's been playing IPL since 2008. I think he should take the responsibility on his own and start setting up the field. And if needed, then go to Dhoni and ask for help. I don't think so. He should let Dhoni do all the changes with respect to field setup.
No, absolutely. With the momentum coming in, I'm sure it's going to help. So let's just quickly look at the points table. So what are we looking at? CSK obviously has come out from the bottom. Anil, um, tomorrow MI plays Punjab. Punjab losing that game, MI winning tomorrow, that's going to create a lot of interest amongst all the other teams, because that will keep all the options open from a points table and the tournament perspective.
Yeah, I mean it also gives chance to SRH, because even Punjab is still at 4 points, right? So it still opens up windows for CSK to come up, and Mumbai. It's gonna be great start for them if they end up winning, but they're still way behind when it comes to run rate. But at least it opens up the tournament, right? SRH will have an interesting. They will be in interesting position. TC will be in interesting position. So yeah.
Suman, quick preview on tomorrow's big encounter, Punjab and Punjab and Mumbai. They've given us double super overs in the past. So you expecting the same with Rahul not being around in Punjab?
I feel Mumbai definitely will go for a win. Similar to CSK, they will come all guns blazing for sure. And Punjab will be low on confidence, especially after that Tivatia dropping which they have got. So hopefully they don't continue to retain Oden Smith. I think his IPL season should be given rest. He's contributed what he should. And yeah, Punjab definitely should be on the back foot. Mumbai Indians have got nothing to lose, as they say now. They just have to come out and play the game. And knowing Mumbai, like CSK, I don't think they will be quiet for a long anymore.
Ishak, ex-Mumbai supporter, what are you thinking? What is the expectation from tomorrow's game?
I think just like Chennai registered the first win today, I think Mumbai would register their first win tomorrow. They'll put one over Punjab. I think that will open up the group much more better. So I think just for the sake of the tournament, I hope that Mumbai wins. And yeah, it would actually kind of open up the group and it will make the group even more the tournament interesting. As Sanjay, you always call out, we don't want an 8-team IPL, we want the 10-team IPL. So it would be better if Mumbai wins.
And
Yeah, I
Ravi,
think. Go on.
Ravi, Ajay has a question. Are there springs in Uthappa and Dube's bat? Do you know?
I think we need to check DK's pattern.
That's a good one actually because Dinesh Karthik has, I don't know what he's having for breakfast, lunch, dinner, but he seems to be in absolute red hot form. And if he continues like this, I can't see anyone else being picked for the finishing slot for the T20 World Cup. But yeah, quickly before we close out, Ravi, what's your expectation from tomorrow's game?
I think Mumbai will win. Mumbai is not a very small team. So I think when CSK wins, I think automatically that put pressure on Mumbai. They cannot go with five out of five, and they are winning. And Mumbai Punjab match has always been a very interesting match. If you see last couple of years since the start of in 2008 also, I'm expecting a very close match. Uh, the way things are going, I feel Mumbai will bat first, and they will put a heavy run because Mumbai likes to put runs and defend. I think they will do that tomorrow. I think
Excellent.
slowly. I think the format and the things will change. Batting first, put the runs on board, and defend it is what people might opt for because we have seen Rajasthan do it, we have seen Delhi do it, and CSK has also done it. If CSK can do with their bowling, I think Mumbai can definitely.
Yeah, so Gujarat was the only team who had not lost a game. They've done that. CSK have won a game. So Mumbai is the only team which has not won a game so far this IPL. Tomorrow, potentially that could all change and the tournament continues to become really interesting this time around. Everyone thought that the new teams might struggle, but it's the big boys who are struggling. But yeah, it all augurs for a fascinating next few weeks of what happens in this IPL 2022. Suman?
And before we go, Vishak should cheer up a little bit. It was not a bad game at all. I know you guys lost, but it was a pretty close game, Vishak.
Yeah, I'm happy actually, kind of. We didn't lose by 50, 60 runs. It looked like when the first four quickly fell, right? I thought it's going to be pretty bad. At least the winning margin. Usually in the last tournaments, even though we ended with 18 points, we finished third because whenever we lost badly. So that did not happen this time. At least we lost by a narrow margin. We at least managed to narrow down the like victory margin for Chennai Super Kings. So that is one thing which is a positive.
A mention on the Prabhu Desai. I'm sure RCB fans will be happy. They found a good talent in Prabhu Desai. That guy looks very good. The way he hits the ball, he keeps the shape while hitting the big boundaries in sixes and fours. That guy will be a good talent to watch out for. Hopefully, they don't drop him when Ashil comes back. And knowing Faf, I think Akash will play in the next match also.
No, absolutely. I was really impressed with Prabhu Desai. First time we've seen him in the IPL. We've seen lots of youngsters doing well at the top of the order, but yeah, someone coming in and doing that at number 5, 6 is really promising. So yes, so that was RCB versus Chennai. We'll have one more round of this one later this season in a couple of weeks' time, I think. But yeah, all eyes on Mumbai tomorrow. Hopefully they will register some points because we've hardly got any Punjab fans in our forum, so no one really sort of cares about Punjab winning or not. But yeah, it'll be interesting as long as we have a good game. I think we are all happy. So, Suman, Vishak, Ravi, and Anil, thank you very much for your time, and for folks who've engaged, you've commented. Thank you very much for doing so. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to our channel. Like, share, comment, and we will get back to you. Hopefully, you'll join us for all our fantasy videos and for the post game show tomorrow as well. Until then, thank you very much for your time and take care.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.